Hello friends, and welcome back to Electrified Reviews. I hope you are well, and I hope you are having a great holiday season so far. Today, we are reviewing the Adir CX folding fat tire step-through electric bike. Man, when it comes to standover height, it doesn't get much lower than this beauty. This has to be one of the most approachable, easy to mount and dismount electric bikes we've seen in a while. The Adir CX has a starting price of $1,449 USD for the white version and $1,549 USD for the blue version. The only real difference, besides the colors of course, is that the white one has a 15.6 amp hour battery and the blue one has a massive 21 amp hour battery. $100 more for an extra 5.4 amp hours of juice. I mean, that's pretty much a no-brainer. Now that is what we call money well spent. Another surprisingly impressive feature about the Adir CX is that it comes with a 3-year warranty for the battery and frame and a 1-year comprehensive warranty. This is so far above and beyond what most e-bikes have at this price point, so we're going to give 10 points to Adir for this. Alright, let's dive into the specs. The Adir CX has a powerful Bafang 750 watt hub motor that brings the CX up to a top speed of around 25 miles per hour with the thumb throttle or the cadence sensing pedal assist. Now, like all cadence sensors, there is a bit of a delay with the motor activation and deactivation, but honestly, because of the super gentle power curve on the CX, it's hardly noticeable. The roll-on of power here is the smoothest we've ever seen, which makes this electric bike particularly easy to control. Perfect for those just starting out with e-bikes. The Samsung battery on the white CX is a 48-volt 15.6 amp hour battery with a max estimated range of around 50 miles. But again, for an extra $100, you can upgrade to the 21 amp hour battery for even more range. The battery is locking and removable, and it is key operated, which means the key has to remain in the battery while you're riding it, just like with a car. The frame is another unique aspect of the Adir CX. It's a super low step-through frame, which makes getting on and off this e-bike incredibly easy. Those with a weak back or knee issues will probably appreciate this more than most. There's also a gusset on the top of the single tube, and that's going to help improve frame rigidity and strength. Speaking of strength, the locking mechanism on the frame is pretty solid, but the handlebar locking mechanism can be more prone to failure under extreme stress. Most light trail riding should be totally fine, but stay clear of the downhill mountain bike races. We also appreciate that Adir added a rear rack and front basket to the CX. This just adds a lot of serious functionality to the ride, and paired with the powerful motor and the bigger 21 amp hour battery, this can be a serious commuter. The front Mozo suspension smooths out the ride nicely, and combined with the seat post suspension and saddle suspension, the Adir CX is a comfortable electric bike to ride for extended periods of time. To bring the Adir CX to a stop, we've got Tektro hydraulic disc brakes with 180mm rotors in the front and rear wheels. Normally, at e-bikes at this price point, we see mechanical disc brakes, so again, it's just really a nice surprise to see Adir stepped it up with another upgrade here, the hydraulic upgrade. At the rear of the bike, we've got a Shimano Altus 7-speed derailleur with trigger shifters. Two more great upgrades that are just really surprising to see here. We'll go ahead and give another 10 points to Adir, why not? Now, the only downside is the gearing is a bit too low for our taste. You'll start beating eggs at around 17 miles per hour, which means you really can't contribute when riding above that speed. Of course, if you plan to ride the CX more like a moped, which you could totally do, this won't really matter. The big old 20-inch by 4-inch fat tires offer even more suspension thanks to their huge air volume, and if you plan on riding on the beach or snow or I guess anywhere with loose terrain really, the extra wide tire patch on these tires are going to keep you from sinking. There is a headlight on the Adir CX, but like so many headlights on e-bikes right now, it's just not really bright enough to illuminate your path at night. However, it does increase your visibility, which increases your safety, and for that, we are thankful. Wire management on the Adir CX is also on point, with everything wrapped up and bundled very nicely. The wires are externally routed though, which does leave them a little vulnerable to getting snagged on low-lying branches or anything else sticking up out of the ground, so keep an eye out for that. The display here is great. It's nice and bright, and it's easy to read in direct sunlight, and it's also adjustable. On the left side of the handlebars, we've got the independent button pad, the throttle, and the horn, which is just loud enough to make sure you're heard, but not so loud that you'll scare people half to death. And on the right side of the handlebars, we've got the shifter. The Adir CX is a value buy if we've ever seen one. At $1,549 USD, it comes with the upgraded 21 amp hour battery and all those sweet upgrade points like the hydraulic suspension, rear rack and front basket, and the Samsung cells. But aside from the already great value, there's two more things that really help the CX stand out from similar folding e-bikes. This one is super approachable, and it has a very gentle and very unique roll-on of power. In other words, it's easy to ride and absolutely perfect for beginners. Alright, awesome peeps, that is it for the review of the Adir CX. Now, let's take it out for a ride.